Sorry. I've had to fix that. Well, welcome to another episode of Simiana Swings In, with a bit of technical problems there. This is Makey the Snake Monkey. Yeah, okay, move on from that. And yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I've been busy with work and working on music and just life in general. So I didn't really have time to sort of just sit down and chat to my phone and then upload it. So yeah, I figured now is probably as good a time as any. So yeah, getting to the point. While I was away working, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last episode. I'm out of practice with this. I apologise if I stutter and things, but yeah, I was working at the Esplanade Hotel in St Kilda, which, for those who don't know, the Espy is a legendary live music venue in Melbourne, well, in St Kilda, which is just outside Melbourne. And I was really lucky to get the job because I don't know if I forget where I was up to in life on my last one of these. But I'd gone for an interview with HiFi, and I thought that had gone really well. And it turned out that apparently I didn't have enough personality, was their official reason for not hiring me. So that was kind of depressing. And I went in for this interview for the SP with no background in hospitality whatsoever. So I thought, I'm not going to get this. And the first thing they say is, we want someone with lots of personality. And I'm just thinking, oh shit, HiFi just told me I haven't got any personality. What am I going to do? So anyway, I did the interview and it went great. So I got the job and I was working there for 18 months. And I'm still technically employed, but the way things are at the moment, I'm waiting on the job keeper. So basically there's a job seeker, which is when you're unemployed looking for work, and job keeper is you've got a job but they can't give you any work because coronavirus. So here I am. So yeah, last year was pretty interesting. Last 18 months, I guess, was the last time I made one of these. Aside from working there, I made 2 albums for the Quagaars. You would have seen videos from that on here, or if you've been to the Bandcamp page. The Project Nomad came out on the 30th of July last year, which was my birthday. And then at Christmas time was Apocalypse Again. So yeah, they're both out there. We've sold 1 copy of the last one. But people are listening, which is good. We're now on the Spotify, which if anyone from Spotify is watching this, I call it Spotify just because it amuses me. It's not a dig or anything like that. I just like calling it the Spotify. And also, when you think about Spotify, their main audience probably is teenagers who often do have Spotifys, so it kind of works. So yeah, aside from that, I was working at the SB, and it was certainly a life-changing experience because I got to experience all kinds of things I'd never done before. I'd never unclogged a toilet, and it's not something I particularly want to ever do again, but I can now say I've done it. What else? I tried gin for the first time. I like gin. I tried Grenache for the first time, which, for those who don't know, is a type of red wine. And I'm playing on my foot. I shouldn't be doing that on camera. I don't know why, it just looks weird. Yeah, Grenache, that's now my favourite type of red wine. And the other thing, and you can tell from the t-shirt, if you can read it from back there, Glitoris. They are a punk band from Canberra who came down and they played in the basement. And I was having a really rough day that day. There was this bartender that I just didn't get along with. He used to pick on me a bit, and he didn't picking on me particularly badly that day. And I went down to the basement, and all I knew of the band that night was they were called Litoris. And so I think I saw their sound check first, and I thought that actually, like, I wasn't sure because I didn't know, because I was like, there's going to be 3 or 4 bands on it. Well, maybe that's the opening act, and they're just really, really good. And then I realised that the bass player had Glitoris written on their face. Oh, I must have been the sound check. But they sound better than a lot of the bands coming through here doing their actual shows. So anyway, that was that. And the night went on and got progressively worse for me. But because it got really crowded. I'm not great with crowds, but I was dealing with it. My anxiety was playing up, and dealing with this bartender, and just the stress of the whole thing. And but I went downstairs again when they'd started playing, and I tried to stay there as long as I could, but I could only really be there for maybe about a minute at a time. So I probably saw about 5 minutes of the show, and out of every band that we'd seen there over the past, at that point, it had been at least a year. Well, it's getting up to a year, I think, because it was September and I'd started the previous October, November. So, and I was just like, wow, these girls are great. And I briefly spoke to Andrew, the guitar player, after the show, and probably made a complete idiot of myself. And then when I got home, the first thing I did, although I was completely and utterly wrecked from working, whatever it was, I think it was a 10-hour shift, plus an hour's drive there, an hour's drive back. I went straight on the internet and just looked up everything I could find about Glitoris. And I kind of became obsessed. And, I thought I had all of my sort of musical heroes sort of decided by that point in my life. But there you go. And you never know when something like that's going to come into your life, and you just think, wow, this is a really good band, And I know a lot of really great bands, but these guys are just on another level. I'd kind of say that, politically they're kind of a complete opposite, but theatrically and all that, they're probably the new Kiss in that sort of regard. But they actually care about their fans, which Kiss used to do, but they haven't done in a fucking long time. But there we go. That made a really shit day into a really great day. I bought their album, and I loved that so much. I bought their EP, and then when this whole coronavirus thing happened, they were saying, "Oh, can people come to the, go and support all your favorite bands and all that? And if you can come." And I told them, "Oh, when I've got the money, I'll buy your singles as well." And again, I think it was Andrew who said that. We've got some for you. And so I thought they meant, we'll put them aside. And I had no idea that the next thing I got was an email saying, no, it was actually a message saying on Instagram saying, "Oh, what's your t-shirt size?" And so I told them, and they got back to me, and the next thing I knew, they were going to send me a t-shirt. And I get the t-shirt, it's got several badges and stickers, and the 3 singles on vinyl. So that was really sweet of them, and they've done a lot of, they do a lot of stuff like that for their fans. They really look after them. They've also done a lot of charity work, and they were really helping out with the bushfire thing. That was something else I was doing as well, by the way. I probably should bring that up. A while ago I was watching a lot of sewing videos on YouTube. I apologise if I'm just ranting and rambling and going on from one to another. I've got a lot of things to cover, and if you've watched one of these before, it's probably exactly what I've always been like. But I was watching lots of sewing tutorials for no apparent reason, because I didn't know anything about sewing. I've always been sort of interested in making my own clothes because I'm 6'3", and it's kind of difficult to find clothes sometimes. So I was watching those, and my mum happened to mention when I told her this, it's like, oh, they've got a sewing machine on sale at Aldi. So I bought the sewing machine, and I was messing around with that for a while. And then the bushfire thing happened, and a friend of mine, Danny, who, if you go through the Quagaars videos, Atomic Rain, she was the eco-warrior in that. She said that she was doing some stuff where they were taking supplies up and all that for the injured wildlife. So one of the things they needed were these pouches and pouch liners for the injured animals. And they seemed fairly straightforward and all that. So I made a few of those, and I was taking those up to her, and she was taking them up, and that was something else where working at the ESPY came in, because we'd had an event for Jack Daniels, and the Jack Daniels people had left behind all of these paper cups, and they were using the paper cups for these injured animals that had burns and all that. And basically, if the paw was injured, they'd put betadine or something in the cup, and then they'd have the koala or whatever with its paw or whatever in the cup. And so we had these boxes of these cups. So I thought, well, do you need them? And they said we can have them. So that was something else. So that was an interesting time when we were everyone in the area, and I was working through a lot of that. And even though St Kilda, where the SP is quite distant from most of the fires, you could see the smoke. You know, it was just crazy. And I remember driving into it and just getting thicker and thicker. But that was the last tragedy of it, and now we're into this other thing with the virus. And I've been keeping myself busy. I'm working on the next Quagaars album, which is a concept album about time-traveling vampires, because of course it is. Anyone who knows me knows that I am not sane, so it wouldn't be a normal thing. It has to be something about time-traveling vampires coming back to stop. We're calling him the author in this, but he's Bram Stoker from writing the book. We're calling it, but it's Dracula. And the idea being that they're upset that Dracula has made people think of them as monsters and all that, and they don't like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting when it's finished. Working with a few different collaborators, and one of the collaborators I met doing the footage is also on here for my performance, at least, from the asexual extravaganza. You can see my asexual flag here. Lil Joel, who is a rapper, hip-hop singer, and I never thought I'd be working with a rapper because I generally am not that into rap, but I heard what he did at the show and I thought he was really good, and I liked the fact that he had a singing voice and a rap voice, which are quite different. So I'm going to have him playing two different characters, and he's really into it. I've just done some stuff for one of his songs, and yeah, it's been an interesting that was an interesting thing to do, because I'd never done that kind of music before. What else? Oh yeah, back at the SV, I met Tim Rogers. I met a lot of cool people there, but I got to meet Tim Rogers, who's, for those who don't know, maybe from outside of Australia, he's the frontman for UMI. He's worked with a band called the Bamboos, who actually they've had a couple of drummers, but they had a drummer at one point called Graham Pogston, who was briefly in a band with me back when we were both in year 11, I think it was. So we already sort of had a connection, but yeah. Basically, Tim Rogers lives in the area of the SP, and I think someone jokingly said that he was there all the time, he should get a job there. And so he went up to the owners and said, oh, can I get a job here? And he's got a bit of a history of drinking, and they said, we're not putting you behind the bar. And he said, oh, okay. And he came back a couple of months later, and he said, I got my RSA, which is the responsible serving of alcohol certificate. And they were like, oh, okay, so he works there as a bartender part-time. But I got to meet him, got to hang out a bit. He's a really lovely guy. We used to just chat about music when I wasn't busy. And because I'd played the open mic night there, I'd left behind a copy of the Quagaars album, the first one, City Tombstone, which I've uploaded for people to download for free. So if you want a physical copy on vinyl, just message me somehow. Not telepathy, I don't know if that'll pick up, but an email or on here or something like that, and we'll work something out. I usually sell them for $20. If I'm feeling generous, it'll be less, but you can download it for free, and if I remember, I'll put the link down here. So I gave him a copy of it. I don't know if he's listened to it or not, but just knowing that we're in his record collection is pretty fucking cool. But yeah, so anyway, I think that's kind of caught you up on my life such as it is. I suppose I could try to talk about the surgery thing, but that happened, it happened all on here, so, well, not the actual surgery. I kind of regret not filming it, actually. It would have been nice to go to watch it back later. But, yeah, there's not really been any change there. I'm now dilating once a month. Then, not once a month, once a week. Yeah, that's all I can really tell you on that. There hasn't been any change there. So yeah, I think that's gotten you all up to date. And yeah, life goes on, and I hope we'll come through this and life will be back to not normal, because society was kind of fucked, but a better version of normal and a better version than the way things are now. And if you're interested in Glitoris, I'll just show you the logo again, and I'll put a link to them if I remember. It's also, if I did a cover of one of their songs in the Metal E. Last time I did a very bad version of one of their songs. I sent it to them. I don't know if they listened to it, but yeah, that's the end of my latest rambling. I'll probably film another live stream. They're not live because I live in Australia and we have shit internet. So we have, I think we're 75th in the world, something like that. So I don't know. It'll be something of me performing anyway. So yeah, thank you for watching and listening to me ramble on. And yeah, just leaning in to press the stop button. Bye.